The Dallas Mavericks needed to have a huge offseason this year in order to try and convince Luka to stay around, and hey, they got off to a heck of a hot start in doing so. This year in the NBA draft, I'd have to say they are one of, if not the biggest winners of this draft. Going out, getting a guy like Dereck Lively, a guy like Olivier Maxence Prosper. I hope I said his name right. And then also bringing in a rotational piece in Richaun Holmes, basically in exchange for nothing. That's a huge improvement. You also get off of Davis Bertans' contract. You will need to bring back Kyrie Irving, but we're going to be talking about all that and more in today's video, so make sure you hit the like button and leave me a comment down below. Also, before we get started, about 97% of my watch time are from people that are not subscribed to the channel. So if you do enjoy NBA content, this is the place to be. Make sure to just go hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications. We're going to be posting all NBA offseason long and even into the season. So let's take a look at the draft here. They started off with the 10th pick and then, of course, traded back to number 12 to get off of Davis Bertans' contract. And they still get the guy that they were going to take at number 10, Dereck Lively, a perfect match for this for this Dallas Mavericks team, a guy that can protect the rim. He's just an elite paint presence, a guy that, protects the rim, can finish lobs over the top. I mean, he's 7'1". He's like the second coming of Mark Williams, just a little bit less developed, but he can hit the three ball. I mean, we saw him hit 20 straight threes from the corner pocket in Chicago. Granted, nobody was guarding him, but I think this is a day one starter. They got off of a bad contract, and they still got their guy they were going to go out and get, who also happens to be a perfect match for this team. Home run pick right there, number 12 by the Dallas Mavericks. That gets an A++. Potentially, with the fact that you get off that contract, maybe my favorite pick of this entire draft. Dereck Lively to the Mavs, that is a home run. And then, later in the draft, they trade back into the first round to get Olivier Maxence Prosper, and they also bring in Richaun Holmes, who, decent paint presence. I mean, he's got a nice little push shot from, 10 feet away off the pick and roll, can protect the rim a little bit. He's been sitting on the bench rotten in Sacramento. Does have a bit of a bad contract, but $12 million a year for the next 2 years, that's not too bad to absorb, especially when you get off Davis Bertans, save yourself about $5 million, and he's going to be a rotation piece. He's going to be your backup center. You can go ahead and clear out everything else behind him because your new center rotation is Dereck Lively and Richaun Holmes, and then you get the perfect guy to add around Luka and Kyrie, a guy in Olivier Maxence Prosper standing at 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan, and man can he defend, especially on the perimeter. Really uses that long reach to get up into people, and man, he makes it tough for lead guards out on the perimeter. Can also really chase shooters off screens, as we saw him do a couple times this year against Jordan Hawkins. Offensive potential, he averaged almost 13 points a game this year at Marquette, and he's shown, potential to hit that corner three ball, to be able to knock down threes off the catch from Luka or Kyrie driving. Another guy that's going to fit into this system perfectly. And then a big-time free agent target that I would like them to get is Bruce Brown. Now, you might not have the cap space, but this is another perfect guy you put in around Luka and Kyrie. He's used to not being the guy. I mean, he's used to playing his role. He just won a championship doing so. You bring him in, he averaged 11.5 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, but in the playoffs he averaged closer to 13, and he even closed out a game in the NBA Finals, which is driving his market value through the roof. 48% from the field, 36% from three, 1.1 steals in 29 minutes per game this year in the regular season for Bruce Brown with the Denver Nuggets. But this is a guy that, I expect him, if they do go out and get him, it's going to be like a 4-year, between $54 and $56 million, I think would be the appropriate value. Denver obviously will try to get him back, but they just have no cap space. And I think it's time. You got to run it back with Luka and Kyrie. I do like this, the ability to both be able to get to the rim, do whatever they want on offense. Kyrie, you got to give him the max. And I feel like as long as, these two are providing your scoring, you got two, ball dominant guards, yes, but guys that can go out and get you 30 any night easy. Kyrie averaged 27, 6, and 5 last year as a Mav. And then you just load up on guys that can fit into the system around them. I think it'll work out. 51% from the field, 39% from three, and 1.1 steals last year for Kyrie. And then Luka Magic stepped it up a little bit from Kyrie. He averaged 32.4 points and 8.6 rebounds in the regular season. Just some otherworldly numbers from Luka Magic. And again, I feel like them going out and revamping this core around them, it's going to work out very nicely. Luka also averaged about 8 assists a game. So between Kyrie and Luka, they're going to be driving, they're going to be kicking, and there's going to be guys around them. Dereck Lively to finish lobs, Maxence Prosper, and potentially a Bruce Brown to knock down the 3-ball or to drive it. I'm liking where this is going. Now there is mutual disinterest between the Mavs and Christian Wood, if that's a thing. He's likely to hit free agency. He averaged 16.6 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game last year, but he's a guy that the Mavs were not really interested in retaining. He's not interested in being a Dallas Maverick anymore, so it's basically both sides have agreed that he's going to hit the road. 52% from the field, 38% from three, 1.2 blocks. Not a bad statistical season by any stretch of the imagination. Whatever team he goes to next, I think will be in for a treat. Now, a potential trade with Tim Hardaway Jr. involved. 2 years, $34 million left on his contract. And for a guy that shot at 40% from the field last year, that's not great. 14.4 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, 1.8 assists. So he is a guy, he knocks down the 3-ball. Part of the reason his field goal percentage was so low is because he takes such a high volume amount of threes. 39% from three, so that is good in 30 minutes per game. So if they do keep him around, that is why, because of his ability to knock down the 3-ball, playing off of Luka and Kyrie. So honestly, now with Olivier, Maxence Prosper, and with Dereck Lively, Richaun Holmes, if they can go out and get a couple of more 3-and-D wings, I would not mind Tim Hardaway Jr. there as like the third creator coming off the bench on offense. Now, a couple of guys they need to develop. A couple more creators here with Josh Green, who can really play defense, and Jaden Hardy, who will need to work on his defense, but he's a guy that can really score it. Josh Green, 9 points, 3 boards, and 1.7 assists per game last year. I have Josh Green really stepping up and taking on a much larger role on this Mavs team next year. Very efficient, 54% from the field, 40% from three in 26 minutes. I think he's ready for it. He can defend at a high level. He can knock down that 3-ball at a 40% clip, and he's very efficient from the field. Jaden Hardy, 9 points a game, about 2 rebounds, an assist and a half a game, and he's another guy that was pretty efficient in the minutes that he got last year, 45% from the field and 41% from three in 15 minutes. That is very, very good for a rookie guard, something you don't see often. So very promising there from Jaden Hardy. Some of the assets they have, if they would like to make a trade, all the picks they have their own pick in 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028 and 9. Only a couple of second-round picks there. Mavs fans, let me know down in the comments below, does that pick this year that was lottery protected, does that now convey to next year to the Knicks? I don't think so, but I could be wrong, so if I am wrong, somebody please correct me down in the comments below. But I believe they will have all these picks pictured on screen, so if you want to go out and get another superstar, you can try. They have about $26 million in cap. I'd like for them to use that on first going out and getting Bruce Brown, and then re-signing Kyrie Irving with your bird rights. I think that's the way to go. Maybe you can use a mid-level exception or something on another guy that can knock down the 3-ball, maybe like a Dylan Brooks. I wouldn't even hate bringing Dylan Brooks in on a low-value contract. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like button and hit the subscribe button if you did enjoy today's video at any point, as well as leaving me a comment down below, as it really helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. But yeah, that's why the Dallas Mavericks won the NBA draft.